So, part 3 of the Curse of the Black Sun. If you haven't already done so, I suggest you go and watch part 1 and 2 of this series, which I'll link in the description below. And also, please consider subscribing to stay up to date with my future uploads. In the last video, we covered Deirdre, the Princess of Cairngorm and the surprised child of Eskel. In the final part, we'll be discussing Sylvia Anna, otherwise known as Syanna, and I'll be giving my final thoughts on the legitimacy of this curse. So without further ado, let's begin. The final supposed cursed girl is Sylvia Anna, known to those closer to her as Syanna. As you've probably already guessed, Syanna was born into a royal family within the time frame of the eclipse. Hailing from Toussaint, Syanna is the older sister of the Duchess Anna Henrietta and is also related to many other notable people, including Emir var Emrys, Fringilla Vigo, and even Ciri. Being born into a family that believed in the curse being truthful, Syanna was exiled at a young age. Let's start from the beginning, when Syanna was first suspected of being cursed before she was exiled by her family. When Syanna was younger, she would constantly have horrible nightmares of violent killings that would trouble her to no end. These nightmares possibly could be caused from the curse, but interestingly, she wouldn't have any of these kind of nightmares when she shared the bed with her younger sister, Anna Henrietta. These nightmares, along with many other things, were noted by Isabel de Roquefort, who was the governess of Syanna and Henrietta. In Isabel's notes, she wrote of the time the two sisters had an argument that turned into a fist fight, to which Henrietta lost 2 teeth and ran off to tell her parents what Syanna had done to her. Even though it was Henrietta who threw the first punch, it was Syanna that got the full blame from her father, who swore she would be punished for what she had done. Even after hearing the version of events told by Isabel, along with the pleading of Henrietta to not be so harsh, her father did not change his mind and was still set on a harsh punishment for Syanna. The reason for Syanna's father being so unbending was due to the fact that he believed she was cursed, and therefore after seeing what had happened to Henrietta at the hands of Syanna, thought that the only way to protect Henrietta was to come up with some sort of harsh punishment to try and get Syanna to refrain from being so violent in the future. This kind of unfair treatment could be a contributing factor into why Syanna turned out the way she did. The notes also mention a time Isabel was tutoring Henrietta and Syanna in Nilfgaardian. It mentions how Henrietta made some remarks about the tutor, insulting her behind her back with Syanna, but it doesn't mention any form of punishment for Henrietta. This instance shows the double standards between the two sisters, as if it was Syanna, you know it would have been seen as some sort of effect of the curse and she would have faced punishment. Syanna always knew of the double standards and harboured a lot of resentment for it, which plays out later in her life. Some time had passed after the fighting incident and Syanna still showed an aggressive personality. Her father knew something had to be done and sent word to the mages involved with the study of the curse. A few days later, a group of mages from the council arrived in Toussaint and made their way to the castle to examine Syanna under her father's command. After the examination, it was concluded that Syanna was in fact cursed according to the mages. This upset her father greatly, but made him think that something had to be done to protect the rest of his family. Her father made the decision to exile Syanna and have her banished outside the borders of Toussaint. No one said a word in her defence, not even her own mother, who simply told Syanna she had no choice. If this wasn't enough, the knights that were to escort Syanna to the borders did so in a horrible fashion. Syanna was beaten unconscious with a horsewhip, denied food or water, and abused to no end during her escort to the border of Toussaint, where the knights left her alone in the wilderness, where they assumed she would be killed or die of hunger. This kind of mistreatment is a familiar theme shared between nearly all known cases of the curse, and is a big argument for why the curse is nonsense, as it can all be chalked up to the girls becoming evil from the horrible treatment they received as children. After being left in the wilderness, Syanna wandered the woods for days, turning purple from the cold and gnawing on bark from tree twigs to try and sate her hunger. After nearly giving up, she spotted a light in the distance. It was a campfire. Syanna approached it slowly, noticing it was bandits, but she was so hungry and cold she knew this was her only chance at trying to survive. To her surprise, the bandits took pity on her and took her in as one of their own, taking her with them as they set off to Nazir. Syanna, now with the bandits, did whatever odd job she could to repay them. Seems as she was only a child. In the beginning, she could only do small jobs like stealing from stores, pickpocketing locals, or playing the distraction while they did the heavy lifting. As she grew, so did the caliber of the job she took, which allowed her to rise up within the ranks of the band, to which she one day became the leader. Now the leader of the band of bandits, she had big plans which involved revenge on those who wronged her as a child on that horrible day she was banished. Syanna knew she would someday get revenge on the knights and the others she felt wronged her. She just had to come up with a plan. One night, Syanna had gone to a fence in Matina to offload some stolen goods. As she was haggling with the fence, in walked a suspicious-looking, tall man. This man was Detlef. Detlef walked to the counter and explained to the fence that he needed to get rid of a very valuable silver candlestick which he was holding, hidden under a cloth. The fence told him he would need another opinion on what he'd pay for it and told him to come back later. This valuable candlestick caught Syanna's attention, and as Detlef left the store, she waited for a bit, then began tailing him. Syanna watched Detlef closely and followed him for quite a distance. Detlef had caught on and led her down a dead-end alleyway to which she hid until she got close. As Syanna reached the end of the dark alleyway, she knew she had made a mistake and that Detlef must have caught on to her. Before she could turn around, Detlef leapt out from behind a crate and bared his extremely sharp, unhuman teeth in her face in hopes this would frighten her, to which she would run away. Syanna didn't even flinch and just stood there staring at him. She wasn't scared at all. This intrigued Detlef, as it had never happened to him before. This incident sparked an instant relationship between the two, which lasted quite some time. In the beginning, the relationship seemed to be working, but Syanna came to lose interest in the relationship due to Detlef being much more involved in it compared to herself. Instead of just ending the relationship, which she felt she couldn't do as Detlef would not take it very well, she decided to simply disappear. After disappearing, some time passed, and Syanna had constantly been hearing rumours of Detlef trying to track her down, as he thought she'd been kidnapped or something bad may have happened to her. Syanna knew Detlef would go to great lengths to find her, and she came up with an idea. This was to use Detlef's willingness to do anything to find her in order to get revenge on the knights that wronged her as a child. Syanna drafted up a letter that was to be sent to Detlef. This letter was written by Syanna acting to be a kidnapper holding her hostage, that explained to Detlef that he had to do as they asked or Syanna would be subjected to gruesome acts of torture. The letter demanded that Detlef was to travel to Beauclair, where he would slay 5 men in the manner prescribed. It also stated that if Detlef failed to do so within 3 days of receiving word, the next letter he received would be one containing the cut-off finger from Syanna. These 5 men would be revealed to Detlef one at a time in separate letters, and were to be the knights that aided in the exile of Syanna when she was a girl. As Detlef began the murdering of these knights, the Duchess of Toussaint, Henrietta, realised that something had to be done. She hired Geralt of Rivia to put a stop to these murders and catch the beast that was killing them. Through his investigation, Geralt finds out that the reason for these murders being performed by Detlef is because he has unknowingly been blackmailed by Syanna. Geralt also finds out that Syanna is hiding at Dun Tyne and is ordered to find her and bring her back to Henrietta. When Geralt finds Syanna, so does Detlef. At this point, Geralt explains to Detlef that he's been blackmailed by her and that she was never kidnapped at all. This enrages Detlef, to which he tells Syanna she needs to meet him in 3 days at Teshamutna, where she will explain what she has done. After being found, Syanna was imprisoned in the Fable Sphere, where 3 days passed and she could not meet with Detlef. Detlef followed through with his threats and attacked Beauclair with an army of vampires, killing anyone he could. With vampires attacking Beauclair, Geralt frees Syanna from the Fable Sphere and takes her to Teshamutna to try and convince Detlef to stop the assault on the city. Detlef ignores this request and, blinded by anger, attempts to kill Syanna. This doesn't work, as when Geralt was rescuing Syanna from the Fable Sphere, they recovered a ribbon that was once Syanna's during her childhood that was created to transport the ducal daughters to safety if they were ever in harm's way. This ribbon just so happened to teleport Syanna to the Fable Sphere when Detlef attempted to kill her. Upon the disappearance of Syanna, after Detlef attempted to kill her, Detlef gets even more angry, which causes him to attack Geralt and Regis. Ultimately, Detlef loses this battle and is finished off by Regis. as a higher vampire can only be killed by another higher vampire. With Detlef dead and Beauclair safe, it is found out that the last victim on the list of people Syanna ordered to be killed was her own sister, Anna Henrietta. Geralt brings this up to Syanna when he talks to her before she is put on trial for what she has done. Syanna admits to Geralt that she had planned to have her sister killed, but also explains her reason for doing it. During this conversation with Geralt, Syanna mentions how she felt her sister had forgotten about her, and how she felt that her sister was just like her parents in wanting her gone from their lives. These feelings of rejection are part of what drove Syanna to do what she did in organising these attacks on Beauclair. After this conversation, Geralt later aids Henrietta in the trial of Syanna, where her fate is decided. In the conversation Geralt has with Syanna before her trial, he is once again presented with reasons why a girl supposedly afflicted by the curse did what she did. This is shown in all cases Geralt has personally come across, which is why he leans more towards the skeptical side in regards to the curse. To someone that looks at the situation and the attacks alone without knowing the reasons behind them, could be compelled to believe that the curse of the Black Sun has some sort of truth to it. But once you know the reasons and how Syanna felt, it shows that the answer is not as simple as it seems, which is the case in most of the situations of the curse. The final decision of whether Renfri, Deirdre or Syanna were cursed or not is impossible to tell due to the conflicting pieces of evidence on each side of the argument, but hopefully this series has given you some sort of insight into what the curse is, and will maybe help you come to your own conclusion on whether or not the curse was true or false. Leave a comment down below with your view on the curse, whether it being true or false. I'm interested to know. But yeah, that's the final part of the Curse of the Black Sun little mini-series. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel to keep up with the lore videos I upload. Thanks.